Here are 10 games that are coming to crowdfunding this year that I'm really looking forward to. Let's talk about them. Now before we dive in, I just want to mention the whole reason why I came up with this idea is because this user here commented that he wanted to learn more about my thoughts about Nightmare Cathedral, which is a game that's on this list. However, it got me thinking of other games that I'm excited for. So that's why I'm making this video. So as always, if there is a game that you guys want me to cover, the best way to let me know is by commenting down below, and I'll make sure to cover it in some shape, way, or form. Now with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button because it really helps the channel grow. And if you're new to the channel, we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so don't forget to subscribe and help me reach that milestone. Now with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Starting off, we have Nightmare Cathedral, which is actually coming to Gamefound on March 28th. A twisted dark fantasy strategy game for 1 to 4 players, where the goal of the game is won by controlling the map, figuring out the best way to manage your resources, and follow your objectives. And the game is divided into 2 stages. The first stage, the Nightmare Cathedral, is being built piece by piece as the game progresses. Once the cathedral is fully built, the game transitions into the second stage. From this moment on, the cathedral will cast nightmare abilities and powerful beings will be entered on the game board, developing units in their path. However, you as a player may also take control of those nightmare abilities. If you can strategize and find clever ways to follow your objectives, combining different nightmare abilities, then you'll have the ultimate route to victory. Now this one definitely stands out because of how dark the theme is and how those components look and the art style of this. It's definitely unique, and I think that's what makes me interested in this game. I like it because it is a horror area control game with resource management. If it sounds interesting to you, I'll have it linked down below for you guys to check out. Again, it is coming to Gamefound March 28th. Next up, I have Adaria's Edge by Luke Laurie. It is a space-themed worker placement game in which your workers are upgradable spaceships. The game will feature a modular hex-style map displaying different regions of space that will lead to different worker actions and sites for development. Your player board is a star base that allows you to build massive tableau engines by attaching various types of modules to them. Each player controls a unique faction, and the combat system in the game uses a quick and exciting dice mechanic. There will be a variety of ways to mitigate or take advantage of the battle losses. If you like space-themed worker placement games, this is something you gotta check out. It's from the same designer that brought Dwelling of Everdale to life, so if you like that game, you're definitely gonna love this game. There's some differences between them, but there's also some similarities to check out. So that is why I'm keeping my eye on this one. Now let's move on to the next game. Next up, I have Avalonia, a Mad Max King Arthur game for 2 to 4 players coming sometime soon to Kickstarter. Each player will lead a faction aiming to expand their armies, gaining resources, and conquer lands. There are 4 phases for each round: planning phase, action phase, the King Arthur phase, and the cleaning up phase. During the action phase, players have to decide their own combination of actions to be taken from 6 different types of actions. Over the course of the game, players have to win artifact units, gain purebred resources, and eliminate troops from the other faction. There are 2 ways of ending the game, either when the throne area of the King Arthur is full, or when one player has reached the ultimate score objective. In whichever way the game ends, the player counts their victory points, and whoever has the highest victory points wins and becomes the new ruler. Now I have seen gameplay for this one, however it does seem like it's pretty simple, especially when it comes to combat. However, I do like the theme, and I think that's really unique, and I think that's what's bringing a lot of eyes to this game. It also doesn't have a solo mode, so I'm not too sure how this one's going to turn out, but we'll have to wait and see when it comes to Kickstarter, hopefully soon. Legacy of Thracks coming to Kickstarter April 5th. A Euro hybrid competitive fantasy game with unique semi-cooperative elements. The game features high direct and indirect interactions between players. This game has many modes: semi-cooperative, solo, team versus team, which is 2 players versus 2, or fully cooperative. Story: you control one of the clan heroes, warrior, mage, or engineer, and the goal of the game is to reach the legendary city of Damara in 9 days. Otherwise, the shadows will fulfill their destiny and destroy the world. Or you control the shadow hero and prevent the other heroes from entering the city. During your journey, you will hire lost souls, collect relics, and use them to complete secret quests and overcome magical barriers. Move your hero to capture villages and to take special advantages. The game comes with different action decks for the player characters, and each of them having their own different combat powers and modifiers. Now, I really like the artwork in this one. It's definitely something that I think looks really cool. I like the story behind the game, and there's tons of different modes for everyone. So depending on if you're a cooperative, competitive, or even a solo player, there's definitely a mode for you. So that's why this one is something to definitely check out. Kingdom Come Deliverance, the board game based off the video game. It is an open world 1 to 4 player cooperative campaign app driven board game. Throughout the game, you will be able to develop your character and encounter new challenges on your journey. Each scenario in the campaign is completely unique. The game will feature a living world that remembers the characters that will react to your action. As you enter each location, you will be greeted with a rich world to explore, and it's up to you to decide where to go first. Throughout the game, your actions will not only alter the story, but also the sound of the game. Every dialogue and conversation is professionally voice acted, immersing you in the world even more and bringing the game more to life. Now this game definitely has a lot going for it, and it sounds like it's going to be a really good like open world RPG campaign game. However, it's based off a video game, so I feel like the IP is definitely going to be a cash grab kind of. I'm not too sure. It definitely looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, especially if you like app heavy driven games. Me personally, I don't like heavy app driven games. I don't mind an app being part of a game, but when it's heavily focused in a board game, I find it's difficult to interact with players. I mean, it does sound pretty cool with the soundtrack and how that changes based on your actions. So it could be a lot of fun. I'll have to wait and see when it comes to Kickstarter. I'll definitely cover it though, but it definitely sounds really cool. Anunnaki Dawn of the Gods, a 4X Euro hybrid game where you will develop your alien civilization among ancient tribes gods set in an ancient dystopian past. The game mixes mythology and science fiction together to give it a very unique vibe. Players must build bases, recruit troops, embody gods, and explore the territories. The game features an innovative shared action selection system that confronts players with interesting choices. Based off the look of this game, it definitely has a very unique look to it. That's what brought me to this game. And it's from a very good publisher that recently published Golem, which is a really good Euro game, so I do have high hopes for this one. It looks like it's going to be really cool, so that's why my eye is on this one too. I'll leave a link to the Kickstarter down below if this one sounds interesting to you. Now next up, I have a game where the spaceships and the dice definitely got me hooked. And that is Beyond Humanity Astrominers, a dice worker placement game for 2 to 4 players in which players manage heating groups of space miners extracting materials from the asteroid belt. Build your wealth of your corporation and fuel the finances and materials to success. The game uses a collection of 6 custom-sided dice with icons representing 4 different types of workers. The workers' availability is determined by those dice rolls. The skillful management of those worker dice is necessary for an effective resource extraction. I believe this one's coming to Gamefound sometime in October. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. I think it could be a really great game. Thorgal, a Norse mythology cooperative story adventure game in which 1 to 4 players take on the role of Thorgal and his family plus a deadly female warrior. The game consists of 10 standalone scenarios. Scenarios are not in the form of campaign, nor do they have any legacy features. However, how you choose to develop your character will affect their abilities and upgrades during the gameplay. The game is a storybook that contains narrative descriptions of encounters that players make in each scenario. The adventures described in the book are specific to each scenario and character. Now this one is definitely going to be a heavy narrative style type of game, which is different because those are generally campaign legacy style games. So this is good in that way that it's something different. However, if you're looking for a campaign legacy game that develops as you play through the scenarios, this is something to skip over. I know personally for me, I feel like I'm covering a lot of campaign games. Not that I don't like campaign games. I do like to see the differences between how this game is different than the next. It's just nice to see this game went a different route, and the fact that you can play each scenario differently with different players. So if that one sounds interesting to you, it is coming to Gamefound fairly soon. I'll have a link down below. Now, if you're a DC fan, then you definitely gotta check out this next game. It is the 10th anniversary edition for the DC deck building game. This is a brawl style deck building game where you play as a DC character and fight your way to victory. This version will bring 2 standalone sets, Rivals, the Flash vs Reverse Flash, and the Injustice standalone expansion. Now I also believe there's going to be a pledge where you can pick up all the Crisis expansions and the Rebirth expansion, which you will need the base set to play, but I'm pretty sure you can get that with an all-in pledge. And it's also going to come with some storage solution if you do get that all-in pledge. I also think they are going to officially announce the solo mode, which is great because this game didn't really have a solo mode before. So if you're a DC fan looking for a great deck building game, then I would recommend checking this one out. It's coming to Kickstarter pretty soon. Now coming in at number 10, I have Silvercoin, The Age of the Monster Hunters. Now I've actually played this one with the designers, and I've been meaning to get more gameplay in. However, due to family and YouTube and other stuff going on in my life, I haven't got a chance to. But what I did experience, I really did enjoy. And if you like monster fighting games, this is something I think you'll enjoy. Definitely feels like a Witcher game, but it has its own fantasy twist to it. You're going to be traveling through 6 different kingdoms, visiting the market to upgrade your weapons, and of course you're going to be killing monsters and gaining silver coins. It has its own lore behind each kingdom. It's more medium to heavyweight style of game. It's definitely a game that punishes you if you don't strategize and make the right choice. I talk a little bit more about that game and other games in this video right here, which you guys should definitely check out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.